Kris here, Green Sabre, Doom Telly time, episode 41 this time. And today's hot topic, is going to be the Desert Island Black Metal, or was it called Black Metal Island? Yeah. Anyway, long story short, it was a video, like a live stream that they did on the what's the fucking channel's name again now? Gas Masks and Hand Grenades. They've done a few live streams over the months recently, but yeah, like a doom metal, Desert Island Doom. I did my own countdown for that. Anyway, this is my countdown for the Desert Island black metal albums. So that's what I'm going to do. It's like a top 10. But anyway, I'm going to go into the nitty gritty shortly. First of all, catch-ups. As you're watching this, a week today, the Pier Hat in Manchester. Can't wait. It's going to be great. Froglord, us, Jeremiah AD, Acid Trip. Bank Holiday Monday, 28th of August. It's going to be ace. Really looking forward to that. So we're kind of rehearsed up. We've got one more rehearsal between now and then. And yeah, can't wait. It's going to be fucking great. So get yourself there. £8 on the door, I believe. So yeah, should be a ripper. So get yourself there. It's going to be ace. Other updates. I went to Lizard Fest 29 on Saturday at the Darkthrone Brewery, which is where Green Sabre played. I did a little video on it. Green Sabre played the last one, Lizard Fest 28. At the start of June, I think it was. We're at 3rd of June. And cracking little venue. Great little venue, great little setup. We had a great time. Well, it was same again, great stuff. I missed a few earlier bands because I couldn't get there till about 6 o'clock, as it was. But I got there for the ones that I'd gone to see anyway. First of all, great to see everyone, the Bradford crowd there. It's always an ace little setup. So we had first up, who was it? Dawn of Elysium. My friend Alec, his band, really good stuff. Yeah, again, great little set. It's the first time I've seen them live as well. I would describe them as a kind of there's a Sisters Fields of the Nephilim vibe meets Paradise Lost. And it's great. I love it anyway. So it was great to see them. Cracking set, nice use of sort of intros and loops and that kind of stuff as well. So that was something I had my beady eye on. But they were great. My friend Lee Oakenthrone, shout out Lee Oakenthrone, they were next. And again, cracking. They are consistently great. If you ever get the chance to see them, you have to. I think that I don't know if they've got a gig in between, but I think their next one's down at a venue in Stoke called The Rigger. If you're in that area, I think it's like the 3rd of November. It's a Friday night anyway. If you're in the Stoke area, get yourself to that. Because if you've not seen Oakenthrone live, they are fucking immense. And they were immense again. They weren't without some technical fucking bastardry that went on though. Lee's cab, I think it was it the fucking socket connector or something, that fucked up. So it was out of action for one song. But professional as always. Blazed their way through it. Got on with that, fixed it, back to the set. Brilliant. And yeah, they were ace, yeah, so it was great to see them. They have got another gig in between whilst, and I'm going to be at it as well. So if you can't get to that one in the Rigger in November, they're playing the Broodnell in September. Saturday, September 15th or 16th. It's definitely the Saturday night anyway, so whichever one of them it is. They're on the Godthrim album launch show. Them, other top band and top friends, Sound of Origin, Godthrim. It's going to be fucking brilliant. So yeah, you've got your chance to go and see them, but please do so because they're ace. So yeah, it was a cracking night. I missed Brigantes that were the last band on, a kind of like a ska punky kind of thing. They're supposed to be sensational live, and I like what I've heard, but I missed them sadly on the because I had to fook off. But yeah, it was great being there and seeing them all. So Lizard Fest, fantastic. Right, nearly 5 minutes. Let's get on with the actual video. Like I say, Black Metal Island. Desert Island Black Metal. It was the Gas Masks and Hand Grenades live stream that gave me the idea. Now, I was sort of trying to get myself on this live stream because I'd really love to do one of these kind of live stream interviewy kind of sort of things, getting on one of them because they look ace, and you know how much I like to fucking waffle on and on and on. So it's like the perfect medium for me. But yeah, as it was, I couldn't make it that weekend that they did this. There'll be a link to it down below anyway, to the the original video. But put some time aside. If you think my videos are long, this live stream went on for 5.5 fucking hours. Yes. So I've watched it all now. I had to break it up into about 5 different sittings. But I've watched it all and it's tremendous. I like how they did it. Everyone sort of, basically, not a top 10, but you each had to pick 10 Desert Island black metal discs as such, like, which is what I've done. So this is my entry to it, because I couldn't make it onto the live stream. But what I've done, and I think what a couple of others did as well, my friend, well, firstly, I should tell you that Roger Kjovic was on there. Shout out, Roger. His channel's ace. I'll put a link down to him down below as well. So, because if you've not seen his videos, do check them out. I'll be amazed if you haven't seen them though, yeah. And of course, top man, top buddy, John at Rock and Metal Plus was on there as well. And yeah, anyway, ultimately, some fucking great 10 choices as such. Like, what I've done with mine is I've gone for 5 classic old school ones and 5 modern ones. Now, to caveat, and very much the same as what I did with my Desert Island doom metal ones, these aren't my greatest albums of all time. There are a few in here that are, but yeah, they're not the greatest black metal albums ever. That's an entirely separate top 10. Although there is some crossover. There's about 5 or 6 in here that are likely to be on there as well. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, it was more a kind of, again, like with the Desert Island Doom, I went method. Lived in the back garden for a week and a half, lived off shrubs, berries, various insects, and so on and so forth. Trying to get in the spirit of things. And it, yeah, I tended to, atmospheric black metal is really my bag anyway, for the most part. That's the one that I tend to zone in on. So you will probably notice that besides a couple of the classics, it's atmospheric black metal that I've gone for predominantly. So anyway, enough fucking bullshit. Let's get on with the top 10, Kris. Yeah, well, not a top 10, the 10. So, right, those are all my various shout-outs done. So what I'm going to do, basically, is start off a couple of them on the video, which I don't know if I already mentioned, but there will be a link down below to it if you've got a spare 5.5 hours. A couple of them did, like, an origin album in amongst it all, as in the album that got them started. So that's where I'm going to start, because it is still one about... Now, this is going to polarise opinion. Your black metal purists are going to be spitting at their screen when they see this. Basically putting out various fatwas on me and so on and so forth. But I still love it. I loved it then, and it is the catalyst. It is the catalyst that got me. Now, I've said on previous videos before that Emperor's in the Nightside Eclipse, which you will see shortly, was my gateway black metal album. And it was, but it wasn't either, because I've often forgotten this one that was the gateway black metal album. This is the one that got me into black metal. It made me fully understand it better. Now, it's not wholly black metal, but it is a black metal record. Anyway, I'll stop talking about it and just show it you. Cradle of Filth, The Principle of Evil Made Flesh. I want this on vinyl, but it goes for fucking daft money. So this is the original CD, though. Bought this way back in 1993, I think it was. I bought this. I mean, it came out... Sorry, no, 94 it come out, so I must have got it. Gaz played it me when it come out, and I fucking loved it. Rushed out. We used to play this a lot, going across to gigs in Bradford in the car. So, yeah, I rushed out and bought it, and I've had it ever since. Yes, there'll be a few of you. Cradle of Filth, are you fucking mental? This is a brilliant black metal album, and one of the canon of British black metal albums, I would say. Now, this is one of 2 British black metal bands that I'm going to mention in my top 10, because I'm based in the UK, so I wanted to basically give a shout out to the UK scene. And this was one of the fucking pioneers. I don't care what anyone said. It is outstanding black metal in places. Danny's vocals are really on point on this one. I think they kind of, as the years went by, they morphed into something fairly dreadful. And after, what's the little EP that came after this? Vampire, whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, after that, I'd zone out, because it all becomes a bit of the Danny Filth show after that, and it loses its sensibilities. It all just becomes a bit theatric and a bit fucking nonsensical, and yeah, the more modern stuff I can't really fucking abide. But this is fucking ace, and that is why it's the first one that I scoop up when my ship wrecks on the rocks. So, yeah. Principle of Evil Made Flesh, Cradle of Filth. So that's the one that I'm taking. And that's my origin story one as well, so in there it goes. My next one, I can't find the fucking CD, but I've got it somewhere, I'm sure I have. Bathory, Under the Sign of the Black Mark. This is my favourite Bathory record. And again, it was the one that made me realise, fuck, this stuff's been going on for ages. Now, this is my origin. Well, it's not my origin because I got into that one first, but the origins of black metal. This is kind of like one of the my pioneer choices, such like, and the one that goes in. Like I say, I can't find the fucking CD, so you'll have to make do with image. But yeah, I nearly picked black metal Venom, but personally, that's a Noobum album. I don't really consider that a black metal record, personally. I think it's more of a Noobum record. Yes, it is the founding father of the black metal scene, and without it, black metal doesn't exist. But I would argue this Bathory album is more of the, without this, you really don't get the black metal that we all know and love today as such like. So, yeah, that's why I chose the Bathory one. I've got the fucking Venom one over there, so that would have been a simpler one to go for. But I also noticed that John at Rock and Metal Plus picked the Venom one as well, so I thought, right, I'll go for somebody else picked this one, to be fair. But I tried not to do too much crossover. There is a bit of crossover though, so you'll just have to fucking make do. But yeah. So yeah, I feel like this is the one that, and is it Call from the Grave, is it called? Call of the Grave, anyway. That track, I think it's on one of the Grand Theft Auto game soundtracks, isn't it? Is it Grand Theft Auto 4? It's on the Biker channel or whatever it is. That is just, yeah, menacing, brooding. It's not your fucking blast beaty, it's just a pounding, driving bit of black metal excellence. And yeah, I love it. So that is why Bathory would be my my choice of the old school that I take with me. Okay, next up, and one that I've never owned. I've got a couple of Burzum on CD, but this Burzum one I've never owned, and it's my fucking favourite Burzum. Currently, my favourite. It is a tie-up between this Vislicittaros, I believe is the pronunciation. Vislicittaros. So that's, yeah, anyway. That one, image inserted. Yeah, just about my favourite. It's a toss-up between this and Philosophem that are my favourite Burzum ones. I choose this one currently because Philosophem ends on that fairly droning... that was the cusp of when Varg was getting into the whole ambient sound thing and moving away from black metal. And I feel that Vislicittaros is more of his black metalness, with an element of that. It's the atmosphere on it's fucking sensational. And yeah, I just think it is Burzum's most rounded, complete piece of work, personally. Yeah, Asker and the self-titled debut are classics, and there is absolutely no fucking denying that. But this one for me is my favourite. It's atmospheric black metal majesty, and therefore is the Burzum album that I take with me as such like. So yeah, that's why that is my third choice for old school. This is the 1 to 5 old school, remember. Okay, the next one, and I really couldn't choose between the two, so I'm either going to cheat and say both of them. Blazing the Northern Sky, Transylvanian Hunger, Darkthrone, of course, or I'm going to pick one. And currently, yeah, if I'm going to pick one, it's Blaze. I think Blaze is my favourite Darkthrone. Of the Darkthrone trilogy, Funeral Moon, I can't find. I thought I had that, but it turns out I don't think I do. So anyway, so I don't have Under a Funeral Moon. Just these two. But the absolute fucking black metal's greatest trilogy, if you will, for me personally. Yeah, I just think it's fucking fabulous. So, although Transylvanian Hunger is fucking majestic, outstanding album, this is the one I'm going to pick. If you're going to make me choose one, people, I'm going to pick this one, A Blaze in the Northern Sky. I just think it's slightly rawer, just slightly more rounded and grotesque, if you will, and creepy. Even though Transylvanian Hunger, you could argue, should be the creepiest one. I don't know. I've just got a soft spot for this. So, yeah. That's why A Blaze in the Northern Sky will be my my fourth choice of classics. My fifth choice of the classics that I'm going with is, you all knew this was going to be on here, and here it is again. Emperors in the Nightside Eclipse. It's just, like I say, Cradle of Filth Principle was my gateway. That was my introduction from doom and death metal, which I've been listening to predominantly at the time, to black. That was the shift over, and it was then that I decided to properly discover black metal, and this was the one. I still consider this a gateway one, because this was one, even though I loved that Cradle of Filth album, I hadn't, at that point, I didn't understand Burzum and Emperor and Darkthrone and Mayhem. It just sounded like nonsense to me. The Cradle of Filth one's it's better produced, it's got your death metal production. This has elements of death metal production to it, but it's still got elements of that raw black metal production to it, the very tinniness of it all. And this is this is the one that really got me into black metal. I understood it after listening to this record. I've talked about this record fucking loads over various videos, so I'm not going to really go into it in any great depth again, but absolute fucking bona fide classic. Emperors in the Nightside Eclipse. I really want the debut EP. Is it the self-titled and the Wrath of Tyrant, is it called, or whatever? I need that one desperately. But yeah, that's black metal gold right there. So those are my 5 kind of origin choices as such, like, if you will, my 5 original classics that will go with me. I'm going to do 5 from the more modern scene now that I would take in a heartbeat. Now, I'll do my honourable mentions now, in actual fact, because I've got a vast fucking list. Now, of the honourable mentions of the classic, I can mention Venom. I've discussed it before. The only reason that Black Metal, the album, and In League with Satan, and those ones, don't make it on here is because I find that I consider them more a new album band than a black metal band. I know they pioneered it without them really knowing, let's be honest with you. I don't think they really thought that a fucking massive scene was going to come out of it. But Creator's debut, I would argue, is black metal. There's black metal elements on early Celtic Frost stuff. Mayhem's debut, this mysterious satan, that one, gem, not quite. I prefer Darkthrone, I prefer early Emperor, and I prefer early to mid Burzum over Mayhem, personally. I'm not going to say I feel that Mayhem debut is overrated, but I just feel it's slightly overrated. And Death Crush is fucking garbage. Sorry, but it's really bad. Anyway, Immortal's first record. Abat became a bit of a kind of clown sort of after that stuff, but that first Immortal record is fucking 10 out of 10. Gorgoroth, early Gorgoroth. I do like Gaul's solo stuff and all that. Gaul came later on, of course, as you will all well know. But that early got like Antichrist and stuff like that is fucking brilliant, really good. Ulva, the Ulva stuff, again, fucking fantastic. They're my kind of classic choices, honourable mentions that didn't quite make it here. Modern ones, I can think of fucking loads. Death Heaven, I love Death Heaven, I think they're fucking great. Marduk, Nightbringer, who else have I mentioned? Bloodhouse Nord with the Disharmonium, the one that they released last year. Very, very fucking nearly on this list. Not quite though, because it's really creepy and uneasy listening. That's what Bloodhouse Nord do great. And that's why, with me going method, that's why I thought I don't want to fucking make myself go insane on this island. I need to keep it at a level bore. And the Bloodhouse Nord stuff is a fucking uneasy listen. And that might make me sort of walk into the sea and never return. But honourable mention, because I love what they do. What I've heard of the new album that's coming out later this year. In fact, is it the end of this week? It might even be the end of this week it's out. Anyway, I can't wait for it. It sounds fucking brilliant. Ulfa. Really, really good stuff, what I've heard. Ara, adore their fucking, especially the trilogy of albums that they've been working on. The last one came out this year. Fabulous stuff. Hate Forest, their Innermost album, absolute fucking gem. The reason they're not on, I think, is they've never really said that they've not got much in the way of National Socialist leanings. So I'm dismissing them a point off that. Although Drudkh do get a mention shortly. Winterfylleth, another one, great stuff. Album Pass is a fucking great album that nearly made it onto here. The new one, what's it called? Feuerwaltz. Anyway, yeah, Winterfylleth. So my honourable mentions of old and new that didn't quite make it onto this list. So let's talk about the 5 newer black metal albums that I'm going to bring with me. And first up, and I've mentioned this loads before as well, Winterfylleth, and my favourite record of theirs, The Dark Hereafter. I think this is just a rounded, complete bit of work from Winterfylleth. It's the first one, I believe, that's got Mark Deeks of Arth fame on keys. And it's that atmosphere that it brings to it. I think some of the track, The Dark Hereafter, Pariah's Path, which is one of my favourite Winterfylleth tunes, Ensigns of Victory, which is another one of my favourite Winterfylleth tunes, Green Cathedral, which is another one of my favourite Winterfylleth tunes, and it's fucking 10 out of 10 brilliance, Winterfylleth. And I mean, definitely currently at the moment, I would say the best British black metal band out there. Personally, I just think that they've absolutely fucking nailed that sound. They're great live, and yeah, Winterfylleth, this is always coming with me. You could argue, even over those classics, that might be the first one that I went for. It was certainly the first one that went on my list, so there we go. So next, I've shown this loads of times as well, Akhlys with the Melinoe album. This is just brilliant. And again, there's an unhinged, creepy, disturbing nature to the songs and the imagery. The album cover also works absolutely sensationally with the music contained within it. It is a faultless fucking record. Akhlys' 3rd record. They're all good, but this is... They've gone next level on this one, personally. Again, I've mentioned this loads of times. And like Bloodhouse Nord, as I just said before, it's a really uneasy, creepy listen. It's just the dissonance of some of those sort of guitar harmony, like higher harmonies that they do that work over the rhythm. And it's just heavy as fuck. It's a fucking barrage in places. It just fucking slaps. It is a sensational black metal record. My favourite Akhlys, comfortably. His other band, Kyle Spanswick, I believe he's called, the guy behind Akhlys, and his other band that I mentioned just before, Nightbringer. He has got another side project that's really good as well. They all sound fairly fucking similar. There's no real difference to them. But yeah, this is just fucking... Of the more modern black metal stuff, this is one of the greats out there. If you've not heard it, do go out and do so. But I saw it on one or two of the top 10s, I think, and yes, so you'll all know about it. My next one is an image. I don't have any of the physical media at the moment. I am intending to remedy that, but I can't get hold of it because it's really expensive. The band that I'm talking about is, let me get the pronunciation right because they're Swiss, Paysage d'Hiver. Paysage d'Hiver. They were on John Rock and Metal Plus. They were on his 10. And I'd almost forgotten this before I watched his 10. I thought, holy fuck, I'd forgotten about that. How, I don't know, because I've just been getting right into Paysage d'Hiver at the moment. Yeah, how I overlooked it. But the album is, in Wald, image inserted. It is 2 hours. 2 hours long. So the vinyl, I would love the vinyl, but it comes in a box set like fucking that, because it's like 4 LPs. So it's massive, and space is at a premium, as I've mentioned previously. But CD sounds like a really good... So I think it's probably the CD that I'm going to go with, because the album, I've not found it for under 50 or 60 quid for a start, and then I've got a gargantuan amount of postage on top. So I think it's going to work out near 70 or 80 quid to get the LP, unless anyone knows a cheaper way of doing it. I have found a cheaper way of doing it, and that's the CD, but that's not cheap either. I've worked out that I think the cheapest way of doing it is via Bandcamp off of their official page, and it still works out at about 28, 30 quid, something like that, including postage, that is, for the CD. But the CD comes in a big rather annoying A5 size box, so it won't sit on the shelf particularly well. But I believe it's got like pine needles in the fucking fancy envelope that it comes with. It's the attention to detail that I love it. And besides the packaging, I really want that record because it is sensational. It is atmospheric black metal perfection. It's raw. It's not... I mean, it is well produced, but it's raw around the edges. And it's just phenomenal. The atmosphere that it fucking creates is just sensational. John mentioned this on his, you feel like you've got all the sound effects with the intro pieces that link the songs. You sound like you are walking through a winter woodland at night, and it just really takes you there. I absolutely have to have the physical media at some point because I want the full immersive experience of it with the lights out. And it's just... At the minute, like I say, I've been hammering Paysage d'Hiver because their latest album, and I say latest album, it came out in 2021, so it's a couple of years old now, but that is also brilliant. Atmospheric Majesty. It's a bit more fucking brutal as this one, and though, and in your face, and almost got a sort of punk vibe to the just attack that you get from it as such. Like, it's a lot more in your face, the latest one, and I can't remember the fucking name of it. I might just insert an image just so you know what it looks like. But it was this one that I first listened to a few months back. Was it like March, something like that? February, March? I can't remember when. But it was that one that got me into it. And I kind of stuck with that one and listened to it to death and fucking loved it. And then I just didn't really discover the other stuff until, like I say, a month or two back. And I know I've only been listening to this a month or two. But it is that fucking good. So that is why Paysage d'Hiver's Wald is coming to the island with me. My next choice, and another one that I don't have the CD of or the vinyl of, and would dearly love both of them, image inserted, is Drudk's Blood in Our Wells. Another piece of atmospheric fucking majesty. It just ticks all the boxes. I mentioned the side project of the Drudkh guy, Hate Forest, which is on my honourable mentions, but doesn't quite make it because of the slightly suspect political leanings of the I don't want my island to go bad, with some propaganda being forced into my ears. So, yeah, I went method with it. But Drudkh, I don't think I've had quite the same association with that stuff, or anyway, it's not fucking important to this. What I did like about the video, the 5.5 hour stream, was this subject was broached slightly, I think, because of some of the comments in the... And I have to reiterate again, let's just get this out there. This is my political leanings. I am lefty at heart. I'm socialist at heart as such, like, but I'm not cancel culture either. I'm not going to use the word woke because most of you fucking dickheads that use the word woke out there don't understand its meaning. So stop saying it. And most people that you call woke don't see it as an insult. So just fucking stop using it badly. It doesn't mean what you think it means. To sound like Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was... It's one of the... Black metal, somebody said it, and I can't remember who it was that said it on this live stream, that black metal seems to be the genre of extreme metal at the moment, that you've really got to fucking double check how sketchy stuff is. And it does feel that way. I feel like that's part of the image, and I feel like that's part of the atmosphere of it all. And some of the more overt stuff, I'm not going to buy. Just out of general principle, well, this is my point. I might buy it, but I will buy it in a way that the funds don't go back directly to the source, because I don't want to fund that fucking bollocks. They can talk about it as much as they want. Free speech, people are allowed to say and do what they please to a degree. But I'm not going to help fund that, essentially. I'm thinking of bands like Nordraider and people like that did the Confrontation album is sensational, but I'm not putting money in their pockets for that overtly right-wing fucking bollocks. The music's ace, but that's my principle on it. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but how can you listen to that if you're that against what they say? Well, because I can, because the music's great. Like I say, this is how I justify it. I'm not going to fund it, But if I like the music, I will listen to it. And that is where I sit on that one. But anyway, I've fucking dived off topic again. And this is the other thing. Whenever I do like a black metal video, I feel like I end up broaching this bollocks. I'm not going to say we should ignore it though. And I think that's the main thing. I'm not going to just sort of pretend that it ain't happening. Because it is out there. But anyway, Drudk's Blood and Our Wells is a piece of black metal majesty. It's brilliant. And I just love it. The tracks on there, what's the opening track called? Furrow of Gods. And of course the final track, Ukrainian Insurgent Army, is it called or something? Yeah, Ukrainian Insurgent Army. It's bookended by 2 classics, but the whole album is fucking brilliant. You've got use of proper ancient sort of old Ukrainian traditional instruments on there as well, with the intro and various pieces. It is a brilliant, brilliant atmospheric black metal record. And that is why it comes with me. I feel like I wasted too much waffle on fucking, are they right wing, are they not, blah, blah, and all that. I'm not going to associate them with that. So, even though I just fucking talked about it throughout their thing. Anyway, my final choice. Mentioned this loads before as well. Arguably the greatest modern black metal record ever. And it's going back a few years now, but it is just head and shoulders above its peers. It's just excellent, all of it. The subject is grim, the lyrics are grimmer. The lyrics are fucking fantastic, by the way. In fact, I'm looking at a lot of them. But it's just magnificent, this album. Exercises in Futility, I should say, and the track listing Exercises in Futility 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's my favourite 4, or 5, or 2, or they're all good. Anyway, it is an album without fault. It's a 10 out of 10. And why... I think I said that Winterfylleth might have been the first that went on my list before. I lied. It was this one. This was the first one that, bang, right, that's coming with me. And it is just brilliant. Right. I've nearly gone on 5.5 hours myself with that, so let's rein it in. So those are my 10 choices, and my slight bit of waffle about the whole political thing in there, but I think it did need mentioning. It was good to see a brief mention of it on the live stream, and also good to see that it was sort of cut off, because I forget who it was that said it, but I mean, it could go on for fucking hours, that conversation, because it could. But anyway, that's Black Metal Island, and... yeah, I love doing that. Like I said, I'd love to be part of one of them live stream type sort of things at some point. Because, yeah, I've got a lot to say, as you will well notice. So that's it. My next update will be probably not... I probably won't do a video next Monday because I'll be getting my shit together for the gig in Manchester. So it's unlikely that a video will happen unless I do it on the Sunday. But it's also my birthday on the 29th, which is next... when is that? Next Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to some great presents off you all. Just hit me up for my address when you can send me various original presses of vinyl, you know, that kind of stuff, because you all love me so much. But yeah, my birthday, I'll be 48 this time on next Tuesday. So yeah, it might be that a video doesn't happen next week. So, but what's this space? If it does, it does. If it don't, it don't. So anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later, guys.